Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows in Current Affairs, and today we continue to embark over the file of tourism. And of course, as we are talking about the current situation and the contemporary situation worldwide of the pandemic, of course sightseeing and tourism became a little bit hard for countries that are supposed to undergo a lockdown, a complete lockdown or shutdown. Of course, Egypt is not under a lockdown, but at the same time, the tourists who come from Europe and America, or in particular Europe, are parts of Europe are on lockdown, and that's why virtual tourism was a decision that was taken by the Ministry of Tourism to be able to provide the same service for tourists where they are, from where they are staying in their countries, but in the shape of virtual tourism, or in a little bit different way, which is also very distinguished and modern and new and innovation, and a part of an innovated program of tourism. But they don't have to travel, they don't have to take the hassle of leaving their homes and taking extra precautionary measures and doing this and that, especially at the time, taking the risks, of course, of traveling on a plane or something and catching an infection from anyone else. And that's why virtual tourism became a decision by the Ministry of Tourism for some people who might take the service from some parts of the world. Today we're going to be talking about virtual tourism. What is virtual tourism? Of course, it's virtual, but what exactly the type of service it is providing for people who are joining, and a lot more about the virtual tourism. And we're very delighted to be having with us Rana Ehab. She is heritage researcher. Good evening, Rana. Let's first give a definition of the virtual tourism.
Actually, this virtual tourism, you can travel to any place you want in the world from your home. What make the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism make this kind of virtual tours? Because all the world and all the most important museums and heritage sites around the world are doing the same. But in Egypt, we do not have. So when they decided to do something amazing like that, they started one by one. When they the people accept the idea and they like it more. Actually, this is not help only the tourism sector. It help also the people who would study the tourism, the people who love the archaeological site, but this is very far from their home to travel or to go on. So this will provide something amazing in your place, and you can go from your website, from your internet, from your laptop, from your mobile phone, and go deeply to those places, to those tombs and the museums also. So you can wearing your VR glasses and enjoying as you are in the place.
Is it a 5D program?
Yes, exactly. It's a 5D. You have a 5D and 3D and 2D the same. You will find many options. Actually, if you're interested in reading.
So do I book online?
No, it's a free. All of them, it's a free.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly. So if you are interested in the scenes and the colors and the hieroglyphic text, for example, in what we have in the Unas pyramids, actually this is amazing. If you like colors and you wanted to see something amazing and special from the New Kingdom, we have also the tomb from Valley of Kings in Luxor. It's about Ramses the Fourth and the Fifth. It's amazing. It contains wonderful colors, and actually what makes this virtual tours special from other places, some of the tombs and the Valley of the Kings is not open for the tourists, and you have to pay for it a huge amount of money. But when we provide it online, free for the people who will visit, so they do not have to take a ticket for it, especially, and you can enjoy with with the scenes and with the colors, with the history of the place. Okay, so that means we do not have any information about the places we look for or the scenes we wanted to know about. Actually, no, because if you press in some places, you will find a small description, give you an information about the color, about the scene you watch, or about the text itself. So this is a kind of amazing thing, as I mentioned, not only for the tourists, it's also for the scholars, for the students who studied in the Faculty of Archaeology and History and Tourism Management. All of this will help the people to take photos, and it will just a great thing have done by the Ministry of Antiquities. The most popular sites that was created, like the pyramid of King Unas in Saqqara. Also, this pyramid is closed at 12 p.m. So it's amazing when you do not have a chance to visit this pyramid during your tour in Saqqara. You will have you can visit it online, and also the tombs in Valley of Kings, and many museums like the Coptic Museum, the Islamic Museum, Gail Anderson Museums, also some mosques around Egypt. So this is make the special tour in Egypt. Sometimes those places are closed because of the humidity of the people, the breath of the people can affect on the colors sometimes. So it's also to preserve the archaeological places itself.
Right. Is there a certain, site for virtual tourism? When was it launched, and what were exactly? Was it launched since a long time? Is it because of the COVID officially that virtual tourism is launched, or virtual tourism is a new kind of tourism that is provided for an extra service for people who might like to see, find out new information or get a glimpse of what the treasures in Egypt, and they don't have they're thinking to come over to Egypt. Is it kind of a promotion, in other words?
For sure, it's a kind of a promotion and a kind of advertising, but actually it was launched from long time ago, but it increased during the corona pandemic. So the Ministry of Antiquities, with the help of other international institution, they made this process. So the developer and the worker on those websites is people from the special people from around the world, because taking this 3D scanning or those stuff need technical things. It's not known by ordinary people, because this is the tourism, this is the market of the next generation. So it needs the people who can understand how the worker of the works of those machines. So it's take a long time, great effort. For sure, they cooperate with many other international organizations to create something amazing like this. So, but they increased in the sites and in the virtual tours during the corona pandemic. So people can visit the archaeological site because it's completely closed during the corona pandemic. So those after this, the Ministry of Antiquities decided to take this thing to create and to take photos for all the places and enter the machines in this place. Then it will be available for all the people. For example, we have all of these websites as free. Completely free. You can know it from the official websites of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, and also in some museums around the world you have to pay for the virtual tours. In Egypt you do not have to pay, because something this is the heritage. This is the heritage of all the world. It's not needed to pay for it. If you come to visit Egypt, for sure you will enter the places and take your ticket and those kind of stuff. But actually it's a free, and this is what makes them special, and the people like the idea. That's it.
Of course it's free, but is it available every place in Egypt? Does it take shots and take give promotion for all the types of tourism in Egypt, like for example the shores, the Sahel, the desert, or only the antiquities, only the relics?
Only
places in Upper Egypt?
Actually, for now, from the Ministry of Antiquities.
Or only museums?
No, they made around 20 virtual tour sites in all Egypt. It's not included those kind of stuff of the funny tourism like shores and the sea. No, it's cultural museums and also the archaeological sites itself. As I mentioned, for example, the pyramid of Unas, some tombs in Bani Hassan in Almenia, the most important tombs in Luxor and also in Saqqara. This is just around 20 sites, virtual tour site. But before that, we have other sites. For example, by many foreign institutions, they made a kind of stuff of different archaeological site that the ministry was published recently. So after a while, maybe the Ministry of Antiquities now has decided to do all of the archaeological sites in Egypt. This will be a great effort because we have thousands of archaeological sites around Egypt. So this is the point here. We need a time and we need a process. We need a thinking. We need the places of the machines. All of this is taking a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of thinking from the process, of the process itself.
Of course. Is there other places, I mean, where virtual tourism could be valid for? Like, for example, there is the gastronomy tourism, which is the Egyptian cuisine. Yes. And this is very much fit for virtual tourism. Actually, this type of virtual tourism has been there even with countries that have no history at all. Like, for example, the Italian cuisine. We have the virtual tourism. The Italian cuisine, they use the virtual tourism. And we have also the French cuisine, the same thing. Chinese, the same thing.
Yes.
Regardless of Chinese, when they eat the dogs and cats and they're really very strange and dangerous trades, which is not accepted by the whole world. However, some of the food in the Chinese cuisine, the rational food is good. It's healthy. There is the Moroccan and there are other types of food. So how is it going? Are they using virtual tourism?
I think this will be a great idea because
they don't have it yet.
No, this is not the cooking programs doing the same or playing the same meaning of this virtual tourism. Because if I gonna to talk with the people, I can share with them the recipes of the most popular Egyptian food. In general, they care about the Middle East food because we have our cuisine in Egypt. Specifically, we have conferences before talking about only the food in ancient Egypt. Actually, it's not far away from our food today. For example, they use the dried fish, like what we have in our national celebration, it's a fasikh. So it's using from the ancient times till now. So when we're doing something of conferences or stuff like that, this is accept the people. This is attract the people from all the world, because actually, if I'm gonna to talk about it scientifically, this is a great things. And also some people in the social media, they sharing their ancient recipes, they're specialized in ancient Egyptian food, they sharing their recipes about the ancient Egyptian that wrote in the walls and the tombs of the ancient Egyptian people, the ancient Egyptian walls and temples. But about what about our food today? Our food today is also amazing, like koshari with the mixed macaroni and those sauce putting on it. So some foreigners, when we talk about this recipe, how it will be something or kind of a strange stuff. But when they eat it, it's really tasty, and this is really amazing. Especially the food in the morning, they give the power, everything here in Egypt is special. But if we're going to talk about it, a virtual tour, I think this is not will be effective, because when I see the food, okay, I need to eat it now. What I will do, how I will do. So we share the recipes for them with them. Sorry. So this will be the point here. Yes,
that's true. Let's talk about the expected event of the hour, an upcoming event that is going to change, or it was going to be the highlight of the year, which is the transfer of the mummies to the Grand Egyptian Museum.
The national.
To the national.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I just forgot. Of course, this particular incident, or the transfer of the mummies, it's going to be the one of its kind worldwide, because it haven't happened before.
Yes.
And especially those particular mummies that were discovered, and the history behind these mummies. It's a lot of saga behind this event, or this breaking story that is going to be taking place real soon, and the whole world is going to be holding its breath right now in awaiting this event. Talk to us about it.
Yes, actually, the royal mummies, or the mummies itself, one of the amazing thing, not only in Egypt, in all the world. Yes, recently, most of cultures, their mummies was appeared, but it's not the same strong of the ancient mummies. Our mummies is from 10,000 years ago. So what make them special? If we're gonna to talk about the mummies well transferred to the National Museum, we're gonna to talk from the beginning of the history of the mummies. How was we found or discovered this mummy? Actually, we discovered this mummy in the two levels. In the ancient Egyptian, the idea of developing from the pyramids to the tombs. Why in the late period and in the New Kingdom we didn't have the pyramids, or the builder of the pyramids like what we have in the Old Kingdom and Middle Kingdom, for example, because they follow from feared from the rappers. They know the king was built here with all his treasure, and we need his treasure. So they going to the thieves going to those places and take the jewelries, took the expensive things it's related to the king. So they decided to bury themselves in the places as hidden from all the scenes of the people. So, for example, one of these mummies is the mummy of King Thutmose I.
Before we delve into this very, very precious details, we should continue, because it's a long story.
Yes.
And I'm very eager to hear it, and so are our viewers, so is our viewers at the same time. But we're going to go to a short break, and we'll come back to you to hear the story about the royal mummies and their history and the transfer. So please be with us. Welcome back, and we were just talking about Rana Ehab, our very precious guest. She is a heritage researcher. She was just about to talk about, or tell us the story behind the royal mummies that are going to be transferred very soon. And we just went to a break, and we really would ask you now to please go ahead and start telling us about the story behind the royal mummies.
Yes. So then, as we mentioned before, the kings want to bury themselves in a hidden place. No one can see them. So one of our mummies will be transferred is about the king Thutmose I. Thutmose I, actually, he is the father of the great queen Hatshepsut, and Thutmose II, and the grandfather of Thutmose III. And we found in the tomb of his vizier that he was mentioned a very important sentence. I made the tomb of the king in a place no one can see, no one can hear before. This place is the Valley of Kings in Luxor. So this is one of our mummies, is about Thutmose I. And our second
So the first one is Thutmose I.
That we have 22 mummy will transferred from the Egyptian Museum to the National Museum in Al-Fustat. And then also we're going to talk also about the Queen Hatshepsut. Queen Hatshepsut, the great queen and the powerful queen that ruled Egypt for more than 20 years. So this is something amazing. Some people mentioned, this is the first woman queen ruled Egypt. This is not true. because we have many queens before her that ruled Egypt, and they played a very important role and control the country and grow up the children until they become in the throne of Egypt. They played a role of the protector of the throne of Egypt. So Hatshepsut take the throne of Egypt for 20 years. She doing a great thing, and one of the most important places in the history in the Egypt, also the temple of a Queen Hatshepsut, because it's carved inside the mountain itself. And also we have the mummy of Thutmose III. Thutmose III, if we doing just a quick search in Google and we say who is the greatest ruler in the world, we will find Thutmose III one of them. Why especially Thutmose III? What he has done in Egypt is something special from the other kings before him. King Thutmose III actually doing a great transaction in Egypt, because he transferred Egypt from a kingdom to empire. So he extend the borders of Egypt for a very far places, and also he entered in many battles, and it was some places mentioned that he entered around 16 battles. He not defeated in any one of them, and also the archaeologists and the students mentioned him as the handsome statue in the ancient Egyptian civilization because of his smile and his fit body and his attitude. It's really amazing. So, and also we have the tomb of King Thutmose III in the Valley of Kings in Luxor, and his tomb is also one of the importance, because it's mentioned something about the hours in ancient Egypt after the death, how the mummy, how the soul will take the journey to reach to the heaven. What will happen in each hour of those hours for the mummy or for the soul of the king. And also we have the mummy of Ramses II. Ramses II, also one of the most important kings in Egypt. We have his monuments around Egypt, and the most famous one we have Abu Simbel in the Abu Simbel city near to Aswan. So this is also something amazing. His mummy. Actually, we have exactly 11 Ramses, named with the Ramses, and the transferation of the mummy will be 4 kings from Ramses. Ramses the first, second, third, and the fourth one will be also moved. And also the the queen Merit Amun, and her coffin, her amazing coffin, is displayed now in the Egyptian Museum. So can you imagine all the kings, the important kings and the great rulers? I don't want to mention the great rulers of Egypt, but most of them, they ruled the world. Actually, they doing things till this moment. When we see their pictures or their statues or their tombs, their temples, we mentioned, yes, we are the ancestor of those great people who doing this great job around Egypt, and the battles and the monuments, also in the science. So Amenhotep II, Amenhotep III also will be the mummies will transfer to the national museums in the Fustat type. How they found those mummies? They found
exactly. This was going to be my second question to you. How were they found, and exactly why wasn't that decision taken before, the idea of transferring them together? Is it only one dynasty? I mean, do they come from different dynasties?
No, they come from all of them from different dynasties. We have.
So they were collected together, or
yes.
Just
Well, no, what happened? Do you remember when I mentioned that the people, the kings want to hidden themselves from the people? Actually, the robbers know their places. And they wanted to
robbers?
Yes, exactly. They wanted to take their treasure and the mummies itself. What will happen? Some people collect all
so
the
mummy
mummies.
was valuable at that time?
Yes, for sure. Everything in this time is important because they have all of their treasure. The mummy itself, we have all the jewelry of from the earrings, the protocollers, the golden fingers, the all of those stuff of gold and silver and precious material on the mummy. So the robbers actually wanted to take them. If, for example, if I don't like this king, I wanted to take a revenge from him. I wanted to kill him and destroy his mummy, because why the mummy is important? It's important for the nether life. So how the soul of the king will know him in the heaven from the mummy, how he will be relive again or back to life again from the mummy. So the soul will back to the mummy and he will rest in heaven. So if I destroy the mummy of the king, no, the soul will
go to heaven.
Yes, the soul will lost in the universe. So this is one of the ideas. Actually, this is we have a famous accident happened with the great king Akhenaten. So because the priests and the high official people didn't like his idea and his thinking, what he has done in Egypt, so they destroyed his face and his name. So the soul will not know this is the body I will be in to go in the heaven or in the nether world. So they destroyed the face and they destroyed the name of the king. So they thought now the king, his soul will lost in the universe. It cannot be back again. So they take revenge from this. So some people, we don't know why, but we discovered in two places. We discovered in Deir al-Bahari and in the other places in Valley of Kings, around 10 mummies here and 10 mummies here. And this is named with the cache of the Valley of Kings and the cache of the Deir al-Bahari. We found around 10 mummies. All of them, they have their name, their faces, and for sure we can recognize them from their faces and from their names. We found around 10 mummies here and 10 mummies here. So they moved together to the place of to the museum to display after the conservation and the treatment of their bodies and all of this stuff. So the preparation itself to transfer the mummies from the Egyptian museum, it's take a long time because it's kind of affected by every small thing. Anything, any kind of air, it's not going with the management, it will be affecting the mummy. So suddenly we can find the mummy is a kind of dust. So the conservator who work on those mummies is very clever and very specialized to take everything specific, and we are pleasured this has happened in Egyptian hands. So with the Egyptian hands. So this is a kind of
that is very important. 100% Egyptian transformation.
Yes, the transfer will be
the scientists and everything.
The transfer itself
and the conserving
the conservators for sure they have the support from other specialized and
so the conservation is by Egyptian scientists 100%.
It's not 100% because also we need some kind of supports and we need more researches about that, and there is specialized about this topic in all the world. So for sure they have a hand. But what I wanted to say that we have the power to do something important like this. And actually one of the most important mummies is related to the king Seqnen-Ra, the first one who started the struggle against the Hyksos. Hyksos, after they stayed in Egypt for a long time, and then they this king decided to dismiss these people and back to our country, and we need to control again on the Lower Egypt, the place where the Hyksos stayed on this place. So the first one started this struggle and he want to defeat Egypt. But unfortunately, when we found his mummy, we found beaten places in his skull and in his neck, and we said this king was died in the battle.
Because he was killed.
Yes, exactly. Because when also we see this, the things in his skull, when we measure it with the Asiatic axe, And Egyptian axe, we will find them with Asiatic axe, which is El Hyksos. So this is one of the important things that showed his love for Egypt from thousands
And
years
his
ago.
commitment.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but on a promise that we would come again on another episode and continue this very interesting stories about the royal mummies. And by that time, the royal mummies will have been
Yes, inshallah.
transferred, inshallah, to the National Museum in Al Fustat. So I guess with this, we come to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. And until we see you again, that's a goodbye. But many thanks also to Ms. Rana Ehab, the historic researcher. Thank you so much.